Didn't get a chance to do my video at the gym today. Totally forgot. So I guess it's not that I didn't have a chance. I forgot. So I'm headed to karate tonight, and I'll just do my little update. I did arms today. It was great. I took yesterday off. I needed a break. I was just too tired. A lot of days lifting, didn't really have a break. So I started fresh today. It was perfect. Arms day went well. I thought about doing some of it at home, but it ended up being all at the gym. And I'll give them a quick rundown on what I did. Before I do that, one of the things I want to mention here first is I remember one of my first workouts when I was 15, and a buddy of mine who was 16 was pretty fucking badass. He looked like an actual bodybuilder even at 16. And the workout that we did was so hard because, first of all, I hadn't lifted weights regularly at all at that point. I had done a little bit here and there at home. I had a little tiny weight set, but nothing regular other than, say, push-ups and things in my karate class back then. So he was really, really advanced for me. And for my first time lifting weights, this probably was a really bad idea. So we did kind of something similar to what I did today. We did an arms workout, and it was brutal. So he did some things. We did some drop sets where we had a bar where we had weights loaded onto it, and we would drop the weight down when we couldn't do any more reps. Drop the weight down 10 pounds, 10 pounds, 10 pounds, or whatever it was. It might have been 2 pounds. I don't remember. Whatever it was, it might have been loaded up with a bunch of fives. I don't know. But every time I couldn't do any more, we would drop some weight off and do more, and drop weight off and do more for, like 5 times, whatever that was. And the next day, my arms wouldn't straighten. So, and that will always stick with me is, maybe that was way too hard for my first introduction to what bodybuilding is. But, for today, to me, that's what, if you don't shock your muscles, you're never going to grow. And I feel like I have been lifting weights for 20 plus years, and I don't shock my muscles enough to force them to grow. So that's part of it. The other part is I don't eat enough protein. I don't have a good enough diet to let them grow. But if I'm not shocking my muscles enough to where I know that the protein's going to help, then what does it matter? So there's 2 parts to that problem. You don't shock them enough, you don't eat enough protein to help. So that's where I'm at on this. So today was a part of that, and my last arms workout was the same thing. I felt it really well. So I'll find out tomorrow how well I hit them today as well. All right, so let me get into the routine. Similar to last time, I did barbell curls, pretty heavy weight. This time I did the 1.5 rep, basically as much as I could do, 1.5 reps. And then I supersetted that again with the narrow push-ups. Maxed as many as I could do. I hit 30 push-ups the first time, and then I don't remember, something around 12 or so on my last set. And I still can't even remember if I did 4 or 5 sets of that total. So that was the first set of exercises. Pretty much a superset, although it doesn't really matter. One doesn't really affect the other, but it just, your breathing is super hard at the end of doing 2 hard exercises like that. So it just, I tried to do a 2-minute rest in between. It just was really hard to recover my breathing enough to be able to do a good solid set, two more sets. So by the end, I was doing 3 minutes in between. My last set, I did a little over 3, maybe 4 minutes rest in between. It was good. All right, next set of exercises. Gym cleared out a bit. I got in incline bench. So I did incline dumbbell curls, and I just basically used that bench sat up straight instead of doing it like a standing overhead dumbbell extension. I did a seated, but with no back support, like your normal shoulder press a bench. So that, it was good because I felt like I still had to stabilize myself, my core, in order to get a really good lift off with pretty heavy weight, with a tricep extension. And that's it for those. Basically as heavy as I could get on those. Supersetted those as well. And I think the only extra thing I did, and I probably should have done it with both, but I tried to do exhaustion. I burned out as much as I could. So on the dumbbell curls, however many reps I could get, if I could only get a partial rep for 2 extra reps, that's what I was getting. And the last couple of sets, I went above and beyond that. And for the last at least 2, if not 3 reps, I swung it up and did a negative on the way down as hard as I could just to hold on to it. So I think that was a great little addition to it because it really burned out the muscle. Didn't really do that for the triceps. I wish I would have done something to where I was doing some partial reps on there with that tricep, overhead tricep extension. It's a little tougher. I still could have just pushed it over onto my shoulder, but it would have been better if I had a spotter or somebody who could help me do that. So maybe next time. So I was running out of time. So the cool thing, since you're running out of time, is I really just beefed up my last 4 sets of cable, and I just did the easy curl cable curls. And since people had left and I got lucky, I got to alternate again. And normally you don't always get to do that at the gym. I alternated my cable curls with my rope tricep press down. And it was great. So I did 4 sets of that, basically just burnout. And since I was in a hurry, I kind of just lightened the weight. I didn't really lighten it. I tried to do the weight that I wanted to do for the best reps. But then I reduced the rest time down to like 30 seconds. I was trying to go for a minute, but then as soon as I could go, which was about 30 seconds, that's what I did. I hit the 30-second mark or so, and I just crushed it out and did as many as I could. So even though I was trying to hit, say, 12 reps, maybe I could only do 8. And then I did a couple partials after that. So, but I burned it out great, so not so bad. Got my 4 sets in there, felt great, and that was it. Left the gym, done. So, didn't have time for anything else, so no cardio. But that's cool. It was an arms workout, so it was the best I could do. My arms were freaking pumped, and I was happy about it. So we'll see tomorrow how I feel. So, got any comments? You think I could have done something better? Let me know. And arms are going to be the focus, shoulders partially too, but mostly arms. I really want to get to look like somebody who actually should be in the gym, or not that should be in the gym, because I am in the gym, that's not a thing, but somebody who knows what they're doing in the gym and actually sticks with their plan and accomplishes their goals. So yes, I'm fit, but man, I need to add an extra inch onto my arms. I want to make sure that I look the part of what I've always been doing. So that is definitely the goal. I don't give a shit if I'm almost 50. I look all right. I can bench pretty well. I want to be able to look like I've got it very symmetric and going on. So that's it. You got any comments? You got any recommendations? Throw them my way. I'd be happy to hear it and appreciate all of your thoughts and comments. Thanks.